When it comes to Lord Voldemort, it's no secret that he has done things that nobody before him has ever done and nobody after him will ever do. It's what elevates him to the top of the most powerful Dark Wizards list. He was willing to push himself and the boundaries of magic beyond any reasonable measure. He wanted to be at the forefront of the next level of magic. There was a time when the killing curse didn't exist, or for example, the ability to conjure fiend fire didn't exist. Then wizards came along, created those spells and elevated magic. However, for some time, magic had plateaued, so to speak, and as we are all aware, there is no spell or even dark ritual, if that's what you'd like to call it, more dangerous, risky and unpredictable than a Horcrux. To make one is bad enough, but to make 7, 6 including the Dark Lord's soul, is believed to leave the soul so unstable it could severely and irreversibly damage the physicality of the person in question. So fast forward to the period where Harry is destroying Horcrux after Horcrux and Voldemort is literally freaking out as he's losing his anchor to the world of the living. It makes me wonder, why didn't he just create more Horcruxes? What was stopping him? Could there have been any more serious ramifications? Let's take a look at all of those questions and more in today's video. Okay everyone, let's get straight into this video and start examining the situation that even allows us to discuss the creation of more Horcruxes. So at this point in the story, Harry knows Voldemort created Horcruxes. He knows how to destroy them, and he's also being very clever by making the most out of the Horcrux traces due to the connection between he and the Dark Lord. Basically, he's got a huge advantage, and that is shown by how many he, Ron and Hermione had found and then destroyed. As I said in the intro, Voldemort is frightened. He's freaking out, he's unsure of what's to come, which in turn makes him even more dangerous. How could anyone have even known about them like Harry had? It's clear as day that Harry was the chosen one. The prophecy was right, and through his knowledge, Harry was the one who had the power to vanquish the Dark Lord. So why, after having so many of his Horcruxes destroyed, did Voldemort not create any more of them? Couldn't it be that if one anchor to the world of the living was destroyed, then another one could just be easily created? Well, not easily, but you get the point. Was Voldemort actually fully aware of the risks it took to even create another Horcrux? Or did he just ignore the fine lines in between the caution? Let's take a brief look at the Horcrux for a moment. To create one, it requires murder, which in turn splits the soul. While the soul is split, the ritual allows the person to pull the torn piece of their soul from their body and store it within an object. Now, there's been issues on how much of the soul is taken, and it's not done in portions of mathematical probability. But here's the thing, if you split your soul once, that means it's in 2 halves. And if you take that half and put it in a diary, then you're left with 50% of your soul in your body. So fast forward to Voldemort having 6 pieces of his soul in objects, he's almost nothing left in his body. Mathematically, it would be split like this: 100%, then 50%, 25%, 12.5%, 6.25%, 3.125%, which means he will be left with 1.0125%. So, after 7, the body is left with, as I said, 1.0125% of their soul, and on the night at Godric's Hollow, when he pursues the Potter family, he accidentally creates a new Horcrux, Harry, which again splits his soul, which leaves his physical body with less than 1% of its soul, which in turn destroyed his body. When a Horcrux is destroyed, many of us believe it would be destroying the percentage of the soul outside of the body, but part of me also believes that it is not the case, which is why he can still make Nagini. If we look at Regulus Black's letter, which I quote, "To the Dark Lord, I know I will be dead long before you read this, but I want you to know that it was I who discovered your secret. I have stolen the real Horcrux and intend to destroy it as soon as I can. I face death in the hope that when you meet your match, you will be mortal once more. Mortal once more. I think it's entirely possible that the soul simply returns to the body badly damaged. It could be why Harry tries appealing to Voldemort moments before the Dark Lord meets his demise, where he says, "It's your last chance," said Harry, "and it's all you've got left. I've seen what you'll be otherwise. Be a man. Try for some remorse." Harry was aware that remorse heals the soul, but surely it doesn't heal and convert 1%, below 1% of a soul into a fully restored one either, which further strengthens my case for the soul returning to the body. For when the soul is intact, the Dark Lord would be mortal once more. Speaking of which, his connection to the mortal world is extremely weak, which is why I think the Elder Wand was also failing him. He was at breaking point. There was no telling what the creation of an additional Horcrux would have done. It could have been fatal, destroyed his current body, or put it under so much stress with a little under 1% of his soul clinging to his living representation. Even if he did survive it, there's no telling what else it would have done to him physically in terms of his appearance, as so little of his humanity would have remained. The thing is, I still don't think he'd have cared. Any risk was worth taking if it meant he didn't have to die, if it meant he could live forever.
But only I can live forever.
The other issue is, Voldemort still planned on making one more Horcrux because he didn't know Harry was one. So that meant one more time, one more process, without consistent interruption and unexpected events occurring. Voldemort would have actually taken the next step and went and created another Horcrux. Even if he did, he'd need time. He'd need to be alone. There's no telling how long it takes to do. Obviously, he'd never reveal his secret to anyone, but he was still going to do it because he needed to have 7 portions of his soul in existence. The Dark Lord was obsessed with symbolism and needed everything to have purpose and meaning. He based his beliefs of using the number 7 purely off the knowledge that it was considered the most magical of numbers.
Can you only split the soul once? For instance, 6 and 7.
7? Merlin's beard, Tom. Isn't it bad enough to consider killing one person? To rip the soul into 7 pieces?
This was never backed up, never proven, and it turned out to have absolutely no effect on Voldemort, as he felt no balance. Despite unknowingly implementing the number 7 into his Horcruxes, nothing happened, nothing changed. In addition to that, he didn't want to go past 7 anyway. That was the plan, to have that number for a reason. So even if he wanted to, I think he'd be very hesitant. Despite all of that, what was certain is that at that moment in time, when he was waiting on Harry to arrive at the Forbidden Forest, the Dark Lord's soul was more unstable than ever. Dark magic, this kind of dark magic, always requires a sacrifice, which, it's no surprise that murder is required, but it also requires a sacrifice from the caster himself, which is no doubt why Voldemort would appear worse as his creation of Horcruxes increased. He also thought that after killing Severus Snape, that he couldn't lose. Becoming the master of the Elder Wand meant he could finally defeat Harry anyway. There was no stopping him now. He didn't need to protect himself with another 2 or 3 Horcruxes, as he didn't really see Harry as a threat after he gained what he believed was the true mastership of the Elder Wand. Although he had taken magic to the next level and basically done something no one else had ever dreamed of, the Dark Lord knew there was a limit. Magic may not have limits in terms of growth, but certain branches of it did, and immortality was one of those branches. There was only so far he could go. Even though he knew that and knew the risks, he was always more concerned with the end result. It was as if he went from the beginning straight to the end, skipping the risks in between that could have resulted in catastrophic consequences. Anyway guys, with that being said, that is my video on why Lord Voldemort never created any more Horcruxes, or never needed to create any more. However, I still need to know your opinion in the comment section below. What would you think if Voldemort did indeed try to make another Horcrux? Or do you believe it would have worked? I want to know down below. The trailer for Riddle An Animated Story is so close. There is just a couple of tweaks we want to make in order to ensure that we have the greatest trailer possible. So hang tight guys, I promise you it will be worth it.
Evening, Tom. My name is Albus.
Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your support. Everyone, notifications of uploads are more important than ever. So please, if you haven't already, turn those notifications on to make sure you're notified the moment my video goes live. Making videos is what I love to do. It's my dream and my passion. However, it does cost time and money to produce this content. So if you have $1 to spare to support me on Patreon in exchange for some exclusive unseen content, then you can click the Patreon link below or at the end of this video. Please only support me if you can afford it. And make sure to follow me on Instagram at InstaDeanJ and on Twitter at Folklore. Check out my other videos appearing on screen, and please make sure, most importantly, to hit that subscribe button. Thanks again everyone, and please have a great day.